I have my crew back as Mackenzie returns to the boat, and we save another vessel in distress as they've run aground. It's a few last-minute boat projects as we run away from a severe storm to hide in a marina. I had recently changed the mounting location of our dinghy to mount it on the deck, and this was our first time putting it in the water using the spinnaker halyard. It went relatively smoothly, but we learned a few things to make it easier for next time. We had spent the night on the dock at the Green Turtle Club at the Abaco Island chain in the Bahamas.
All right, so I forgot to start hitting record on my 360 camera when we left, so didn't do it. Got off the dock. We're anchored out right now. None of the moorings left. None of the people in the mooring balls left. So we are anchored out. This whole bay is covered with grass, so the holding's really poor. So I'm going to send Mackenzie down to dive on our anchor with a GoPro because I was like 75 degrees, which is a tad cold for me. I like over 80. So I told her, will you go dive on it? And, you know, tell me what you see. So I'm gonna put our little boarding ladder down and get her moving.
It was nice of Mackenzie to go dive on it for me. She took a GoPro with her so that I could review the footage. Even though we were only in about 10 feet of water, I had a lot of chain out because it didn't feel like we were holding. The dinghy was on its side and only partially digging in, but honestly that could be my fault. I had the tang installed in the wrong spot, making it less effective. I'll have to pull the anchor out of the water to rebolt the tang in the correct spot.
I've drug in this anchorage before, so I'm a little bit weary about anchoring here. And you know, the reviews say the same thing. There's a lot of people that have had problems here because it's just seagrass. So it's hard for your anchor to dig in. I feel like we've gotten closer to this dock though. But that's why I like to leave my chart plotter on when I'm on an anchor, because then I can come over here and I can look at my track. And I mean, you know, either we're swinging or we're dragging, I'm not sure.
The water was only about 75 degrees, but getting warmer every day.
Is this ladder gonna hold me?
Yeah, time to review the footage.
Bobby, you better put sound to that because I was out of breath.
Uh-huh.
We were only anchoring there temporarily. The entrance to White Sound has a shallow spot at the entrance, about 5.5 feet at mean low water. We draw 6.5 feet, so we needed a couple feet of tide to get out. We only had to wait a few hours, so we made the most of our time by doing some paddleboarding. On a dock right behind our boat is actually a CT-54. It's the precursor to the CT-56 and is very similar, just a couple feet shorter. This one looks like it's been very well taken care of. While we were just hanging out, we heard a distress call on the radio. A boat had run aground at the entrance. So we loaded up in the dinghy to see if we could help them out. I attached their spinnaker halyard to our transom so we could motor away and pull them over sideways. That would pull their keel off the bottom and they'd be able to motor forward out of the shallow spot. Felt like it was moving. You ready? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's scary. Bobby, that's like nervous. That's so. That's crazy.
Cool. Action.
Oh,
Hang on a second.
we're getting pulled by a sailboat.
Thank you so much. Hey, no problem, guys. Sure, y'all have a good one. Sure.
With high tide, we motored out of the bay.
All right, we're anchored out here. I mean, it's a pretty good little fetch here to the other side, but the wind's gonna be lighter overnight. It's a big, heavy boat, so we're barely moving at all, so it's nice. It might be a little bit of a choppy dinghy ride, so, but not too bad. It's 'cause the wind's supposed to be less overnight, so whatever. So, all right, I'm gonna let down the little game plank in the back, and then we are gonna go to Pineapples for lunch. It's already 3 o'clock almost, so it took us longer to get over here than we thought. See, this wasn't an option with Cougar and Maverick and Goose. I had to build a special contraption for them to get on and off this boat. That's why I wanted minis this time. 20 pounders, a little easier to deal with. But they're pretty sweet boys, they really are.
The boys weren't super thrilled about the dinghy yet, but they were getting used to it. Mackenzie joined us and we headed to shore. We headed to the dinghy dock at Pineapples.
All right, we're good to go.
We made it.
Barely.
Barely, yeah. Bobby Buck got ran over.
Yeah.
Pineapples is a beautiful spot and it can get busy on the weekends.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We made it.
Okay, Bobby. This is my friend from last time. I don't know if you remember her.
Oh, yes.
Yeah? Well, I know you're not doing
After a nice lunch, it was back to the boat to chill out for a bit.
We're about to head in and go to a place called Sundowners. It's kind of where the evening stuff happens on this island. I'm not gonna bring the camera. I just don't really feel like it. I just don't really feel like it. So just kind of want to take a night off of filming. I don't know if the video is ending here or not. Honestly, like the way I edit these, like I never even know. Just kind of whatever the natural ending point of the video is, I end it. So if it is an ending, thank you guys for watching. Please click like and subscribe. And it's our Sailing Doodles Navy and patrons that make the difference, allow me to keep doing this. So thank you guys. I can hear my bilge pump cycling on and off, so I know what the problem is. Well, I don't like that the float switch on there makes it cycle on and off real fast instead of just like letting it, you know, when it comes on, just let it run for 30 seconds. It's not emptying all the water out, but I'll show you why water is getting in there. You gotta back up, buddy. So that's the shaft going through the boat, and you can see the dripping down below it. It's dripping a couple drops a second. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that adds up over time, and the bilge pump is going off on and off a lot. And that's because the little brass fitting, where you can see there's two little collars, that's the stuffing box. That's stuffed with this like really thick kind of cord, almost like a waxy cord type stuff, depends on the boat. Because, you know, there's a hole in the boat, right? So it shoves it in there to stop the leak of the boat because of water coming in. And you know, so the shaft spins in there and eventually kind of wears away at it.
And so then you got to occasionally tighten that collar down to compress that material more, and it spreads it back out to kind of fill the gaps. So I got to get my wrenches, and I'm going to go to town on that. There's 2 nuts on there. You back the smaller nut off first, because that's like the locking nut. It keeps the other nut from turning, and then you kind of, both sides kind of move them in at the same time, tighten it down, and then you retighten the smaller nuts to lock them down. Now it's a drip every 15 or 20 seconds, which is a lot better than 3 drips a second. So, you know, I can live with that. That'll take forever to fill up the bilge. You don't want to over tighten it, because then you're just going to have to, you know, it's just going to burn that material up fast. You know, you got to replace that stuffing, I don't know, I mean, every couple years, maybe once a year, whenever you pull the boat out of the water. I mean, it takes just a few minutes to do, take you 20 minutes to replace that stuff. So when you get the boat out of the water for the season or whatever, why not replace it? All right, and then I just tighten down the locking nuts behind it so that those nuts can't back out. Easy fix. I've been meaning to do it for a while because I kept hearing that bilge pump go off. So it should stop that now.
Meeting my buddies out on the lake.
The wind waves overnight hadn't been too bad. It's a big, heavy boat, so the wind chop doesn't really do too much to it.
Just a few folks know there's no signing up, no monthly dues. Take your Johnson, your Mercury, or your Evan Root and fired up. Beat us out at Party Cove.
Okay, we're gonna get moving today. We're gonna head down to, we're just gonna tow the dinghy. So we got it set up there. We're gonna head down to Great Guana Cay and have lunch there at Nippers. It's Sunday, they do the pig roast there. And then we're gonna head down and get a marina for a few days, because it's gonna be really freaking windy for a couple days. And you know, 30 plus knots. So with the dogs and all that, and the problem is that it's gonna clock around from like out of the south, out of the northwest. So there's not a whole lot of anchorages that are good for that. Anything out of the east, there's a, you know, north to east, there's great anchorages here, but south and west is not great. So we're just gonna get a marina for a few days. So now Mackenzie is gonna pull up the anchor.
Just a few folks know there's no signing up, no monthly dues. Take your Johnson, your Mercury, or your Evan Root and fired up. Beat us out at Party Cove. Come on in, the water's fine. Just idle on over and toss us a line. Fast tractors, mail liners, and a party barge strung together.
So there's a point here that's known for its large breaking waves called Whale Point. But that's only when the wind's out of the east or northeast, which is kind of more strong and over 15, 20 knots definitely. You're gonna get some breakers going through there. But the wind's out of the west, so shouldn't be a problem today. Heading south and towing the dinghy. Plan is, I think we're just gonna tow the dinghy normally, unless we're expecting some bigger chop and swell. I mean, it's not hard to get the dinghy up on the platform, but it's just, yeah, it probably takes 20, 30 minutes to do it. Whereas opposed to davits normally only take a few minutes, but it's just way more secure up there. If I can get this boat down to St. Martin and have them like truly design a one-off, like, you know, because I'm sure these, whoever did this, I'm sure did a great job, but they're like off the rack, you know, I'm assuming davits, the arms anyway. Whereas I'm sure there was some fabrication for the connections and all that, but like I'm pretty sure they're just off the rack davits. They're too small and they're too close in, so the dinghy comes up and it's hitting the side of the boat. I need them. I want them to be beefier, bigger, and can hold a bigger load. That sounded really dirty somehow. The winds are pretty good now, so I'm gonna put out just the head sail. It's easy to put in and out. So.
Trailer park, anchored out, and get loud all summer long. Side to side, there's 5 houseboat front porches, astroturf lawn chairs and tiki torches. Regular Joes rocking the boat that's us, the Redneck Yacht Club.
We weren't going too fast, only about 4.5, 5 knots, but it sure felt great.
Top 10, he popped his first top at 10 a.m. That's Bob, he's our president. We're checking out the girls on the upper deck, rubbing in the 15 SPF. It's hot, everybody's jumping in.
A cat may be more comfortable in a lot of ways, but it sure doesn't look as pretty as this.
On when the sun goes down, we'll pull out the jar and that old guitar and pass them around. Bass trackers, mainliners, and a party barge strung together like a floating trailer park, anchored out and getting loud all summer long. Side by side, there's 5 houseboat front porches, astroturf lawn chairs and tiki torches. Regular Joes rocking the boat, that's us, the Redneck Yacht Club.
We made it here to Guana Cay. We're gonna drop anchor real quick and head into go get some lunch. You ready? Let's do this.
Bobby,
I'm not doing it.
I don't want to get wet, Bobby. Should I sit back there?
Grab the line and
I am, but where am I not going to get wet?
you're not gonna get wet once we're untied.
Bobby. I get wet. Most days I don't mind, but I don't want to eat wet clothes. Whoa!
Stand up.
I'm about to. I wanted to get a grip.
All right. We're just gonna go to Grabbers, have lunch, we'll come back to the boat, and then we gotta move to the marina.
It wasn't that long of a dinghy ride in, and we managed to stay dry.
On a dusty road, good loving, I've got a truckload. And when you get it,
We pulled up to the beach at Grabbers for some lunch.
so don't worry, 'cause I'm coming. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man.
The food there is actually pretty dang good.
Soul man. I got what I
After a quick lunch, it was back to the boat to get moving. We had to be at the marina before 5.
make it better each and every day. So, honey, but don't you fret.
The boys napped the whole way, about an hour and a half south.
Nothing at all. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man.
The wind was pretty light, so it made it easy to pull into the slip.
I'm a soul man. Look, I was brought up on a side street. Look ahead. I learned how to love before I could eat.
We're gonna have to do something to keep Cougar from jumping off the boat. That scares me a little. If he misses, we might not notice.
I started loving. I can't stop. I'm a soul man.
Thank you so much for watching. Please do me a favor and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're closing in on 700,000 subscribers, and we could really use your help.
I'm a soul man.
It's our patrons, Sailing Doodles Navy, and channel members that support this channel. For just a few dollars, you can get lots of bonus content and early access to the videos.